भगवते दक्षिणामूर्तये मह्यं श्रियं मेधां प्रज्ञां प्रयच्छ स्वाहा। ॐ नमो भगवते दक्षिणामूर्तये मह्यं श्रियं मेधां प्रज्ञां प्रयच्छ स्वाहा। ॐ नमो भगवते दक्षिणामूर्तये मह्यं श्रियं मेधां प्रज्ञां प्रयच्छ स्वाहा। ॐ नमो भगवते दक्षिणामूर्तये मह्यं श्रियं मेधां प्रज्ञां प्रयच्छ स्वाहा। ॐ नमो भगवते दक्षिणामूर्तये मह्यं श्रियं मेधां प्रज्ञां प्रयच्छ स्वाहा। ॐ नमो भगवते दक्षिणामूर्तये मह्यं श्रियं मेधां प्रज्ञां प्रयच्छ स्वाहा। ॐ नमो भगवते दक्षिणामूर्तये मह्यं श्रियं मेधां प्रज्ञां प्रयच्छ स्वाहा. So welcome to everybody to the concluding session on this Dakshinamurthy Stotram composed by Adi Shankaracharya, and we have covered 5 dhyana shlokas. Today I will also cover the 6th missing dhyana shloka, which is the favorite of Pujya Swamiji at the end. And now we are going to just first straight away jump to the 8th shloka. I'll do a quick recap and then proceed to the last verses. So, in this verse number 8, I'll just chant it and then do a quick recap. Vishvam pashyati karya karanataya Swaswami sambandhataha Shishyacharyataya tathaiva pitraputradhyatmana bhedataha Swapne jagrati vaya esha purusho Maya paribhramitaha Tasmai Shri Gurumurtaye Nama Idam Shri Dakshinamurtaye Bhurambhasyanalonilom Paramahat Natho Himam Shubhuman Ityabhati Characharatmakamidam Yasyaiva Murtyashtakam Nanyat Kinchana Vidyate Vimrishatam Yasmat Parasmat Vibho Tasmai Shri Gurumurtaye Nama Idam Shri Dakshinamurtaye. We briefly started this 9th shloka. Now, in this Dakshinamurthy Ashtakam, which is a Prakarana Grantha, which means a text on Vedanta, the vision of the Upanishads, as well as a stotram, glorifying Dakshinamurthy. So we see how Adi Shankaracharya, in all these verses so far, what is Acharya trying to convey? The first verse, Acharya Shankaracharya says that this entire Jagat, including my body, mind, sense complex, is just like a reflection in a mirror or as a dream. Both the reflection in the mirror and the dream are not independently existing. So too, BMW, the body, mind, world, Jagat, has a dependent existence and is anitya vastu. Yeah. Then what does it depend upon? Then Shankaracharya explains that is the nitya vastu param brahma or atma. That nitya vastu atma is the independently existing principle of consciousness lending reality and existence to the anitya BMW Vastu, Anitya Vastu. Yeah? So the Sambandha we saw and the nature of both. One is the changeless principle of consciousness, and BMW is ever changing and enjoys a dependent existence. Verse 1 over. Verse 2, we saw how Dakshinamurthy is Daksha, competently creates, sustains, and dissolves the universes, just like a magician or a Mahayogi, by the help of Maya Shakti. Just as a sprout emerges from the seed, so too this entire universe, which was in a seed-like state, manifests as this Nama Rupa Kriyatmakam Jagat. This universe of countless names and forms, and each one of them with a unique function. Yeah? That is the glory of Srishti. Then in the third verse, we saw how Shankaracharya says that it is only Dakshinamurthy appearing as the Guru who is going to wake up the Jiva from this Ajnana Nidra, sleep of ignorance. Yeah? What is the sleep of ignorance? Mistaking the Anitya Vastu for Nitya Vastu. And how does the Guru do that? Bodhayati, Katham Bodhayati, Tattvamasi iti Mahavakyena. By the teaching Tattvam Asi. Yeah, that is the Guru who, through the Upadesha, awakens the sleeping Jiva to the reality of his or her own true nature, Nitya Vastu. Then fourth, we saw that beautiful analogy of the shining lamp placed in a pot. So too, this Nitya Vastu is Atma Jyoti. And that Atma Jyoti is streaming out and lighting up the body, mind, sense organs, and the whole world. Atma Bhati Jagat Anubhati. Yeah. Then fifth verse, Shankaracharya says, but there is a mix-up. Many wrong misconceptions and erroneous perceptions of Atma is there in the world. So we have the schools of thought. Some people take Atma to be the body, others to be the mind, or the prana, or the changing intellect, or the void. Yeah? So Shankaracharya dismisses all these schools of thought and says, no, the Nitya Vastu, Drik, is ever the experiencer and never that which is experienced. Yeah? So this is the Drik, Drishya, Viveka. Whatever I experience, I cannot be that. I am distinct from that. Then we saw that why is it that the Jiva is ignorant of the true nature? Because the true nature is eclipsed by Maya. And then Shankaracharya beautifully explains how the natural phenomenon, we have shadow planet casting the shadow on the sun or the moon. Temporarily, it looks like they are, blocked. So too, the true nature is eclipsed by the Maya Shakti. Maya here is avidya, ignorance. That also we saw. And on waking up, we realize, just as I realized that the dream was not real. So too, when the Guru wakes up the Jiva with the Tattvamasi Mahavakyam, then the Jiva understands and realizes his true nature. So this Nitya Vastu Atma Jyoti is that which accompanies one throughout the Jiva Yatra. Balyadishvapi Jagradadishu Tatha, through the stages of the body, childhood, adolescence, middle age, and also through the waking, dream, deep sleep states. There is a thread of continuity. And that we saw in verse number 7. Yeah? And Dakshinamurthy, with that most auspicious Chin Mudra gives the Upadesha that when the Jivatma bends and joins with the Paramatma and comes away from the three bodies, the three gunas, the three avasthas, then there is Purnatvam, the fullness. Then the eighth shloka that we saw just last week. How does one ordinarily perceive the world? No? So we perceive a world full of differences, is it not? So here, Vishwam Pashyati Karya Karanataya Swaswami Sambandhataha. This Purushaha is this Jiva. Normally we would perceive the world as cause and effect, yeah, or in the form of relationships. I am the father of so-and-so, I am the wife of so-and-so, yeah. And this happened because of that, yeah. If I had not done this, this would not have happened. And if I do this, I will get this. So we are engrossed in this cause-effect relationships in the world, or with labels and definitions, and the roles that we play. This is how one perceives the world. Or Swami Swam. I own my car, my home, my property, my wealth, my body also. So that is the owner-owned relationship, parent-child relationship, teacher-student relationship, cause-effect relationship. Yeah. So this is how one would normally perceive the world. Shastra says this is Dvaita Drishti. So what is wrong with Dvaita Drishti, we may ask? It is quite natural to see this in Vyavahara. Yes. But the Jnani sees the differences in age, gender, qualification, nationality, whatever differences that appear visible. But underlying all those differences is that Nitya Vastu Atma Jyoti. And if we fail to recognize that Adhara, that Nitya Vastu Atma Jyoti, then what will happen? We will be entangled and engrossed in the Anitya Vastus and take them for Nityam. So then there will be expectations and anxiety, disappointment, frustration, insecurities, and then that is how the samsara comes. So then what is the solution? So Shankaracharya is going to give one upasana in the next verse. But when one understands that Ishvara is the only one cause that has manifested as the countless Nama Rupa Jagat. That means what? There is only one cause. There is only one ultimate parent. There is only one ultimate Karanam. Yeah? And only one ultimate owner. So then what? Everything belongs to Ishvara. Ishvara has created this Jagat. But then I say, my son, my wealth, my car. And that the Jnani or the Guru has this Atma Drishti. Atma Drishti. So seeing the differences is fine and Vyavahara continues, but underlining that there is the one homogeneous Atma Vastha. Yeah? So that we covered in the 8th verse. And in this, we see that the parent-child relationship, we discussed that, cause, effect. But one relationship is very important. What is that? Shishya Acharya. When Arjuna surrenders to Krishna in chapter 2 of the Gita, then Krishna proceeds to elevate his mind. So here also, the student is seeking knowledge, and the teacher is removing that avidya from the student's mind by Tattvamasi Mahavakyam. So then what? Then even the student is going to understand what the Guru has already understood. So this is the one relationship which will completely liberate me. All other relationships will remain as they are. Husband, wife, father, child, teacher, student. But this relationship that one has with the Guru Parampara or the Guru is going to release me from the this perception of differences and be anchored in that ultimate Nitya Vastu reality. Yeah? So, Bhedataha Pashyati, Eshaha Purushaha. And this happens in which two states? Swapna and Jagrati. In the dream also, we perceive dualities, dream food, dream president, dream children, whatever, dream parent, and even the waking state. Yeah? So, Swapne Jagrati Vaya Esha Purushaha Maya Paribhramitaha. Why does one perceive duality? Maya Paribhramitaha. By the deluding power of Maya. Maya is ignorance here. Yeah? So, then the next question is how to be liberated from avidya. Yeah, that is why we are here. So doing Shastra Shravanam. And now we come to this 9th verse in which Shankaracharya is going to suggest a sadhana and upasana. Upasana to understand that there is only one Karanam. Ishvara Karanam has manifested as the countless Karya Jagat. Remember the gold example? So the one gold substance has appeared as the countless ornaments, as your gold wristwatch or the gold pen, whatever gold products we have in the house. But there is only one gold. No? So that example we have to keep in mind to understand that the one Ishvara has manifested as the entire Jagat. No? So now, how to overcome this avidya? Let us chant the 9th verse, and Sunita can repeat after me. Bhuram bhasya nalo nilom baramahar.
Bhuram bhasya nalo nilom baramahar.
Natho himamshuv puman.
Nadho himamshuv puman.
Itya bhati characharatmakamidam.
Itya bhati characharatmakamidam.
Yasyaiva murtyashtakam.
Yasyaiva murtyashtakam.
Bhuram bhasya nalo nilom paramahar natho himamshuv puman.
Bhuram bhasya nalo nilom baramahar nadho himamshuv puma.
Itya bhati characharatmakamidam yasyaiva murtyashtakam.
Itya bhati characharatmakamidam yasyaiva murtyashtakam.
Nanyat kinchana vidyate vimrishatam.
Nanyat kinchana vidyate vimrishatam.
Smat parasmad vibhoho.
Yasmat parasmad vibhoho.
Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Nama Idam Shri Dakshinamurtaye.
Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Nama Idam Shri Dakshinamurtaye.
So here Shankaracharya says, how can this avidya be removed? And here we are given an upasana. What is an upasana? Upasana is a visualization. Upa, near, asana, abiding in, seated. Upasana. We are chanting this in Vishnu Sahasranamam also. Bhupado yasya nabhir veda nilasan chandra suryo chanetre. The Dhyana Shloka before Vishnu Sahasranama says, can you visualize the earth as the feet, the sun and moon as the eyes, and that is Mahavishnu's cosmic form. So here also in verse 9, Shankaracharya says, may one meditate on Dakshinamurthy as the entire universe, which is eightfold. Murti Ashtakam or Ashtamurti Bhrit. Yeah? So Ishvara has manifested in an eightfold way. So may one meditate on the universe in its 8 aspects. Yeah? And that upasana will expand my mind and one will be released from the hold of avidya. So what is this avidya doing to me? This avidya is making me see only differences. I see the world as cause, effect. I see the world as, only in terms of relationships, owner, owned, teacher, student. But I want to understand the mithya atma tattvam. Yeah? So this upasana, which is a Vishwarupa Darshanam upasana, is suggested by Acharya. So normally we all have our own upasanas, is it not? We have a personal puja room and a Ishtadevata and a mode of worship. Yeah, the devatas and devis may be different and will be different also. Yeah, but here this is called Ekarupa upasana. Ekarupa upasana is upasana where we are dedicated to one Ishtadevata. But now Shankaracharya is suggesting we expand the mind and view the whole universe as a cosmic temple. Yeah? And in that temple, may one meditate on 8 aspects. What are they? Let us look at those. Bhuhu is earth principle. Ambhas, water. Analaha, fire. Anilaha, vayu. Ambaram, space. Yeah? So if you have heard the Taittiriya Upanishad, there we see the emergence of these 5 Panchamahabhutas. Tasmat, etasmat va akashaha sambhutaha, akashat vayuhu, vayor agnihi, agnir apaha, adhya prithivi. So it starts with Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Apaha, Prithvi. And here we are going in the reverse order. We start with Prithvi, waters, fire, Vayu, space. Yeah. So Shankaracharya says, okay, let's take the Pancha Mahabhutas first. Can you relate and worship and revere these Pancha Mahabhutas in the universe? Now, luckily, fortunately, in our culture, we are already doing that. No? All these Pancha Mahabhutas, we have temples for them. Prithvi Lingam is in Kanchipuram. Ambhas, Jalam is Tiruvanik, Kaval near Trichy. Then Analaha, fire is Agni Lingam, Arunachala. Anila, Vayu is Kalahasti. No? And then Ambaram. Ambaram is in Chidambaram. Yeah? See, Ambaram, Chidambaram is matching space. No? So beautifully we see that we are already worshipping the Pancha Mahabhutas in the Panchasthalams. No? When I went a few years ago, I think I've been to all of them except water, Appulingam. So when we went to Chidambaram, there the Garbhagraham doesn't have a Vigraha because we are worshipping space. So the priest will do all the mantras and everything. And at Alankara time, he will be holding one Bilva garland, Bilva Patra garland. And he told us, now, can you see Ishwara na Pakarela? Parungo. And then you can't see a form. So we just nod our head. We said, yes, we saw Ishvara as space. How beautiful that we are able to connect and relate to the Pancha Mahabhutas, through the mind. Yeah? So space can be only estimated. Yeah? I can estimate from here up to the door, it is 3 meters. Yeah? And right now, I can sense space because space is holding the table, the chair, and me. The whole earth is suspended in space. And that space is the first Sukshma element, Akasha. But now back to Prithvi, Bhuhu. So this Prithvi Tattvam is, we are also revering this Prithvi Tattvam. In the morning when we get up, what is the first thing we do or should do? Samudra Vasane Devi Parvatastana Mandale Vishnupatni Namastubhyam Padasparsham Kshamasvane. O Mahalakshmi, you are the consort of Vishnu addressing Mother Earth. I'm going to start the day by stepping on you. So, Kshamasva, forgive me. And we also see dancers, Bharatanatyam dance always begins with Namaskara to the Prithvi Tattvam on the stage. Then when we want to build anything, a building, there is always a Bhumi Puja. So that is all the various ways where one is already worshipping the Prithvi Tattvam in our culture. Yeah? Now, why should we worship Prithvi Tattvam? Because it is there in my body also. This body is Pancha Bhautikam. All the 5 elements are coexisting harmoniously in this body. Tattva Bodha, we see in great detail about how these Pancha Mahatattvas combine to form the sense organs, knowledge of action, the physical body, and the faculties. Yeah? So the Prithvi Tattvam is present in the body as the minerals and carbon, potassium, calcium, and if anything goes out of balance, we need our vitamin supplements. Yeah? So that is the Bhu principle. Next we have Ambhas. Ambhas is Jalam, yeah? Water Tattvam. So this water is highly sacred in our culture. Sanatana Dharma. We can't imagine, for every ritual we have to purify oneself before. Om Achidaya Namaha, Om Anantaya Namaha, Govindaya Namaha. And then even our bath waters we are energizing by Gange cha Yamuni chaiva Godavari Saraswati Narmade Sindhu Kaveri Jalesmin Sannidhim Kuru. Then somebody asks, what if there's only a shower? Can we still chant the mantra? Yes, you can. So even the shower waters will be energized, and we can extend it to our Tungabhadra and Kaveri and Brahmaputra, all other rivers other than the mentioned here. Then we make journeys to Ganga Mata, Kaveri, and take dips. Why do we do that? Out of reverence for the Jalatattva. So this is a positive aspect of Corona, is, what could not be done in decades. Thanks to Corona, purification has happened of air, Prithvi, and Jalam during the lockdown. Yeah. So this Apaha, the glory of Tirtha, and Apaha or Ambhas, water, is present in our body also as fluids. Yeah. Then the third element is Analaha. Analaha means Alam na vidyate iti Analaha. Alam means enough. The fire will never say enough. Alam na vidyate. So fire will always say, give me more ghee, more. So this fire is Pratyaksha Devata. The first of the elements which is visible. Akasha is not visible. Vayu is not visible, no form, but Analaha visible. So this fire is revered since the Vedic times. Om Agnimi Ide Purohitam Yajnasya Deva Mritvicham. Very famous Rigveda mantra when we do the aratis in the temples. Om Agnimi Ide Purohitam. Agnim Ide. I worship the sacred fire. The fire Tattvam is what motivates my thoughts, words, and gives energy in the whole universe. That is the fire, that is Arunachala, the Agni Lingam. Yeah? And in our body, where is this Agni Tattvam? Body temperature has to be maintained at a certain temperature. And then before eating, what do? We chant mantras. Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva Praninam Deham Ashritaha Pranapana Samayuktaha Pachamyannam Chaturvidham. So, O Agni Devata, Agni Tattvam, in the form of that Vaishvanara Agni in my stomach, I am offering now food. So, you see, even eating is not to be taken for granted, it is a puja. So, that is the glory of Analaha, which we revere in this way. In a very personal way at meal times, or we do Grivalam in Tiruvannamalai. All these are ways to worship these eightfold aspects. So now 4 are over. 3 are over. Anilaha. Anilaha is the Vayu Tattvam. Na nilayati iti anilaha. That which does not stay in one place is anilaha. This is not Tamil anil. Tamil anil is squirrel, no? But Sanskritam anilaha is wind. Yeah? Na nilayati. So anilaha is very important. How can we even stay for 2 minutes without prana? So just imagine the prana vayu tattvam sustains the whole universe and of course me. Without prana, nothing is possible. So that is the glory of anilaha. So we see that one can meditate on Ishwara just by observing one's breath. So the breath is the most intimate, direct manifestation of Ishwara in my body. Anilaha. And hence, we should do pranayama. Yeah? Pranayama along with the mantras. And that purifies my sukshma sharira. Then we come to the last of the Panchamahabhutas, Ambaram. Ambaram means a cloth also. So if we can imagine space, Akasha Tattvam is like a cloth, no? It is wrapped around Mother Earth and it is that which is holding everything. Avakasham Pradatra iti Akashaha. In Sanskritam it is said, what is the definition? How will you define Akasha? Akasha is that which holds and accommodates everything. Yeah. Nowadays, scientists are discovering, the nature of Akasha is also puzzling them. Gravitational waves are there, Akasha is expanding, contracting, but what it is, we're not able to figure out. And it is still the first element which has emerged from Brahma. So you can imagine, how will that parent, how sukshma the parent Nirguna Brahma is when the first element itself is so sukshma. Yeah? So Akasha is the space element worshipped in Chidambaram. Anila, did I say? Anila is worshipped in Kalahasti as the Vayu Tattvam. And the space is there in my stomach, in the bones, in the mind also. That is why even when I'm full, I've had a good meal, but still there is space for an extra laddu. How I can have that extra sweet? Because space expands. So thus we see the glory of the Panchamahabhutas. Guhu, Ambhas, Analaha, Anilaha, Ambaram. 5 over. So this is the way to revere, worship Ishvara in the form of 5 elements. Then what is the 6th? Ahar Nathaha. Ahar means day. And Nathaha means Lord. So who is the Lord of the day? The sun. The sun is causing the day to happen, no? So the sun is worshipped as the Surya Devata right from Vedic times. So one has to rise up in wonder and awe. Wow, the sun, the UPS for my planet, is rising, and I appreciate it by offering Arghyam, by chanting Gayatri Mantra, or we have studied Aditya Hridayam, one can chant Aditya Hridayam, or just fold the hands and do Namaskaras, Surya Namaskaras. When we do this in gratitude and appreciation, then we're connecting to the Aharnathaha, to the sun. And then we have the Himamshuhu. Himamshuhu is him. Him means snow. Amshu is rays. Cooling. What is that cooling 7th factor? The moon. Himamshuhu. So may one connect and worship the moon, the cooling rays of the moon. In fact, for Ayurveda, moon is very important. They expose all their herbs in the moonlight to potentize the herbs. Yeah? So too, I say Om Somaya Namaha. And this cooling, healing energy of the moon I connect to. And then I celebrate the festivals connected with each Paurnima. There is a significance. Recently Sharat Paurnima is celebrated as the birthday of the great Kavi Valmiki. who has given us the Ramayana. So Himam Shuf, and Sri Ramachandra. Why do we say Chandra? Because the face is like so beautiful, like a full moon. So we have Bhuhu, Ambhas, Analaha, Anilaha, Ambaram, Aharnathaha, Himamshuhu. 7. Now all these 7 factors are experienced in the universe every day. So now, Shankaracharya says that this is the universal temple. Now when we go to Balaji Tirupati, when we used to, not nowadays, when we used to, then we have to do online booking, we have to queue up, then there is opening, closing darshanam, there is a special VIP darshanam and Samanya darshanam. And then when we go to inside the Garbhagraham, there will be what? Jargandi, Jargandi, Jargandi. But look at this, and then Swamiji will say, we don't mind as long as other people are told Jargandi, Jargandi. But when I am coming close to Bhagavan, I want to stay there, And of course, we have all been to Tirupati. It's a great Punya Kshetram. But here, Shankaracharya is suggesting a Vishwarupa Upasana in the cosmic temple. This is available 24/7, So that does not mean we don't visit other temples, but for a mumukshu, when we connect to these elements in the universe, then we are constantly in prayer. We are constantly in puja. Now, what is the 8th factor? Puman. And who is the Puman? Puman is the Jiva, the individual. Who is experiencing all this? When I do namaskara to the sun, to the moon, to the Pancha Mahabhutas, who is doing that? Puman. In the photo, you can see the Sanakadi Rishis. They are all Pumans, the Jivas who are facing the Lord, Dakshinamurthy. And with that Puman, we find that the 8-fold manifestation of Ishvara is over. Now, Swamiji will add a bhashyam to this. When we greet the sun is, of course, the brightest, most luminous star for us. But it's not the only star. We can't see the stars beyond the sun. But the sun stands for all the other stars in the galaxy, in the Brahmanda. And Himamshu, the moon, we are able to see the moon. But the moon stands for all the planets and satellites. So with the Pancha Mahabhutas and the Aharnatha covering all the stars, Himamshu covering all the planets and satellites, the whole universe is covered except for Puman. And who is the Puman? The Puman is the sentient, conscious Jiva, the experiencer. Now we have the Ashtamurti is complete. Second line, iti abhati chara charatmakam idam yasya eva murtyashtakam. So this Jagat, which is chara and achara. Chara means moving beings like you and me. Animals, birds, humans are chara. And achara are stationary. Mountains, trees, plants, buildings. They don't move on their own, So chara charatmikam idam abhati appears. So this whole universe, it appears as a murti ashtakam. So when we open the eyes, we should be able to see all these 8 factors in the universe. That is the second line. Yasya eva murti ashtakam. Then what? Na anyat kinchana vidyate. Then there is the understanding that there is nothing other than Ishvara. Ishvara has manifested as the Pancha Mahabhutas, which combine to form the bodies, the minds, and all that we see around in the world. And then to give heat and light and protection and nourishment, there is an external sun, and then the moon at night. And then there is the Jiva, Human, to experience all this. So the Murti Ashtakam is complete with these 8 factors. So we see that this verse number 9 shows us the vision of the Supreme Brahman as Ashtamurti, as Murti Ashtakam, eightfold. Now, when you see this form of Dakshinamurti, behind me, Dakshinamurti is also Ashtamurti Bhrit. And Swamiji will explain this, that how generally we'll see Dakshinamurti holding, not in this picture, as a Japamala, but instead of a Japamala, there'll be a drum. You might have seen a Dakshinamurti image with a drum. So the drum stands for Akasha Tattva, because the drum encloses space. Yeah, space is Akasha Tattva. Then on the other hand, we see fire, that is Agni Tattva. Then from Shiva, there is Gangaji, water Tattva. Then Shiva's Jata. Jata is like, all over the place. So Shiva ties a bandana like a kayal. So there will be like a hairband. And that hairband, indirectly, we can infer Vayu Tattva from the hairband. And then the whole body, if you go to any Dakshinamurti temple, you will find that it is made of an alloy. 5 metals are used to make the Vigraha of Dakshinamurti in Anekati or Teni or anywhere. That is the Prithvi Tattva. And then, do you see the sun and the moon? There is the sun on the right side by the head, and there's the moon, Chandrasekhara, on the left side. So the Panchatattvas are in the body of Dakshinamurti, sun and moon. And then where is the Puman? At the feet. Sanakadi Rishis. The jivas that are receiving the Upadesha from Dakshinamurti are the Sanakadi mature Rishis. Very advanced minds. Why? Because all they need is a Chinmudra to understand the Upadesha. And what is the Upadesha? That is the one Karanam, Ishvara, has alone manifested as this entire Nama, Rupa, Kriyatmakam, Jagat. Yeah? So despite all the differences in products, there is only one Satyam. Yeah? So Brahma Satyam, Jagan mithya. Nitya vastu ekam, anitya vastu anekaha. Yeah? So that is the Ashtamurti Bhrit, whether you take it as a universe, which has manifested in an eightfold way. We can worship Dakshinamurti when we connect to these 8 aspects, and in our own body also. That is why it's called Dehaha Devalayaha. So harmoniously, all the Pancha Mahabhutas are coexisting in the body. The Pancha Pranas are functioning. The Agni Tattvam is there, maintaining body temperature. Fluids are being secreted. Akasha Tattvam is there. Prithvi Tattvam, everything. So the body is called Devalayaha, temple, because it is housing the Atma Jyoti, Ishvara, the shining, indwelling divinity. Yeah? So you see what a beautiful upasana this is. Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Nama Idam Shri Dakshinamurtaye. Unto that Dakshinamurti who has manifested in an eightfold way in the universe and in my own body, which is a mini universe, my namaskaras. Yeah? So this is an upasana to expand my mind. We all grow up with Ekarupa upasana, right? We connect to Sri Rama or Krishna and say, oh, this is my Ishtadevata. No problem, no? But here, Acharya wants to expand the mind and say that whole universe see this as a temple, and you can take anything and that can be your Ishtadevata. Take a clod of earth, Prithvi Tattvam, and take the cow or Tulsi Mata or Gangaji or Akasha. Look up at the night sky and then you can see Dakshinamurti in the form of stars and planets and the moon. Yeah. So the puja is, of course, initially we start with Ekarupa, then we expand it to Vishwarupa, and then there's one more goal, Arupa. Arupa means formless. Yeah? So this is the vision of the Upanishads, and the Guru tells the Jiva, Tat Tvam Asi. Yeah, you are not only this body, mind, sense complex. You are much more than that. You are the shining divinity, indwelling in divinity, and you are the formless, timeless, spaceless reality, which is in fact supporting the time-bound, space-bound body, mind, sense complex. Yeah. So see the distinction between Nitya Vastu and Anitya Vastu is brought about beautifully in this Ashtaka. So I think verse 9 is now, we can say goodbye to this verse. There is one more word I have to explain there. Na anyat kinchana vidyate vimrishatam. Now, for whom does this occur, this wisdom, vimrishatam? Vimrishatam is those who inquire, who are mumukshus, who want to know. See, Shankaracharya will always say, faith will sustain us. When we pray to Bhagavan, then I get some comfort. But then the ultimate liberating effect only knowledge can have. So Vimrishatam are the people who seek knowledge, who do enquiry, who come to the Shastras and to the Guru, who are the mumukshus. And for them, Vimrishatam, na anyat kinchana vidyate. There is nothing other than this Nitya Vastu, Atma Tattvam in the whole universe. Yasmat Parasmat Vibhoho. Yeah? And that is the Vibhu, the Ishvara, which is all pervading like the gold. So this Jnani has the gold drishti. He will not get lost in the products. Normally what happens when somebody buys a new sari, we'll say, wow, how beautiful is the sari. Where did you buy this from? How much is the cost? Can you give me the contact details? Nothing wrong in it. We are not condemning all that. It's part of Vyavahara. But what are we doing here? Karya Vichara. Yeah? But if we can do Karana Vichara, what is sari really for, for a mumukshu? A sari is made up of silk. Supposing it is a silk sari, silk threads, that is fiber. Fiber is yarn. Yarn is molecules. Molecules is atoms. Atoms is particles. Particles is subparticles. Subparticles further divided will become Panchamahabhutas. And Panchamahabhutas have emerged by the Maya Shakti from Nirguna Parabrahma. So we can meditate on sari. So the Swamiji will joke. He'll say, you will lose your sari. Sari tolanju poidum. Because in the place of sari, you will have only Paramatatvam. So we have to do this balancing act. Vyavahara has to continue. We have to respect relationships and do what is to be done. Yeah, the teacher will admonish the student for not having done homework. There is a proper, conduct. But underlying all that, for the mumukshu, we are all mumukshus now in the Zoom session. Mumukshu wants knowledge, the liberating knowledge. And the liberating knowledge is this, na anyat kinchana vidyate. One who does not see anything other than Ishvara, who has manifested as the countless names and forms in the Jagat, including my body, mind, sense complex. Now let us come to the last verse. Now, as usual, in any stotram, we have a Phalashruti. Phalashruti is what are the benefits? It is said that Mandopi na pravartate prayojanam anudishya. Even a fool will not seek anything if there is no gain. Yeah. So what is the benefit in all this? The verse 10 is going to show us the benefits, and Shankaracharya concludes the teaching here and says, whoever worships Dakshinamurthy in this way, in what way? Murti Ashtakam, and connecting to the Karanam of the entire Jagat, to the ultimate Tattvam, will get this benefit. And what they are? Let us first chant the verse. Sarvatmatvamiti sputikritamidam.
Sarvatmatvamiti sputikritamidam.
Yasmadamushmin stave.
यस्मादमुष्मिंस्तवे
सर्वात्मत्वमिति स्फुटीकृतमिदं यस्मादमुष्मिंस्तवे
सर्वात्मत्वमिति स्फुटीकृतमिदं यस्मादमुष्मिंस्तवे
तेनास्य श्रवणात् तदर्थमननात्
तेनास्य श्रवणात् तदर्थमननात्
ध्यानाच्च सङ्कीर्तनात्
ध्यानाच्च सङ्कीर्तनात्
सर्वात्मत्वमहाविभूतिसहितम्
सर्वात्मत्वमहाविभूतिसहितम्
आदीश्वरत्वं स्वतः
स्यादीश्वरत्वं स्वतः
सर्वात्मत्वमहाविभूतिसहितं स्यादीश्वरत्वं स्वतः
सर्वात्मत्वमहाविभूतिसहितं स्यादीश्वरत्वं स्वतः
सिद्ध्येतत् पुनरष्टधा परिणतम्
सिद्ध्येतत् पुनरष्टधा परिणतम्
ऐश्वर्यमव्याहतम्
ऐश्वर्यमव्याहतम्
सिद्ध्येतत् पुनरष्टधा परिणतम् चैश्वर्यमव्याहतम्
सिद्ध्येतत् पुनरष्टधा परिणतम् चैश्वर्यमव्याहतम्.
Again, I'll do the whole shloka. सर्वात्मत्वमिति स्फुटीकृतमिदं यस्मादमुष्मिंस्तवे तेनास्य श्रवणात् तदर्थमननात् ध्यानाच्च सङ्कीर्तनात् सर्वात्मत्वमहाविभूतिसहितं स्यादीश्वरत्वं स्वतः सिद्ध्येतत् पुनरष्टधा परिणतम् Chaishwaryamavyahatam. A little more correct chanting would be Siddhye tat punarashtadha parinatam cha. You take out the cha, pull it out. Aishwaryamavyahatam. This is Gurukulam chanting, but you can do both, So, did you notice the last line is not Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Namaidam Shri Dakshinamurthaye, because this is a Phalashruti. Yeah? And it doesn't seem very likely that Shankaracharya would have added the Phalashruti, because Shankaracharya would only give us the teachings, right? So, this has been definitely added by another Acharya and somewhere down the line and later. So, what are the benefits for a mumukshu who worships Dakshinamurthy as the Paramatattvam that is present in all? Yeah, Sarvat Matvam iti Sputi Kritamidam. Sputi Kritam means very clearly idam. This yasmat, because amush means stave. Stave is in the stotram. Amush means in this, adas shabda. Amush means tave sputi kritam idam. In this shloka, that is the Dakshinamurthy Ashtakam, it has been made very clear what Sarvat Matvam, very important word. Sarvat Matvam means Sarvam Atma Iti. Sarvam Atma Iti means what? That everything is really Atma Vastu. Gold in your earring, in the necklace, in the anklet, in the bangles. Really, it is only gold, but appearances are different. So that Sarvatmatvam is the Advaita Sukshma Drishti by which I perceive that any object you take, it is really the Atma. So the Atma of a cow is the Atma indwelling me is the Atma of the mosquito, is the Atma of Sri Rama, Atma of Sri Krishna, Atma of coronavirus, Atma of anything you take. The Atma Tattvam does not change. But what has changed? Upadhi. the bodies, the minds, the appearances, the roles, the scripts, the karmas, the features, or the gender, all these differences we see, when we put on the goggles called the mind will see what? Age, gender, qualification, rich, poor, black, white, young, old, parent, child, student, teacher, differences. But the Jnana Drishti, Atma Drishti, Advaita Drishti is Atma Vastu Ekam, the Nitya Vastu Atma. And that understanding is called Sarvatmatvam. That word Tvam is very important. Tvam means the ness of, in English. We say happiness. No? The state of being happy is happiness. So, the state of this understanding of Atma Tattvam is Sarvatmatvam. That indeed, everyone's Atma is the same. Sarvam Atma Iti. And that is Putikritam, very clearly explained in this stava, in the stotram. Now the question is, then how to get that understanding? How? I also want that Sarvatmatvam benefit, the phalam. Second line. Tena asya shravanat tat artha mananat dhyanat cha sankirtanat. So now we come to a very important upadesha here, that what we are now seeking is knowledge. So this is Jnana Yoga Sadhana. So the primary sadhana is threefold. Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. Now Shravanam, the definition, I have said it often, is systematic and consistent listening to a teacher belonging to a parampara or sampradaya who is alive for a length of time is called Shravanam. First, I have to approach a teacher and want this knowledge and attend classes. That is Shravanam. Attending class is porom. Mando, kandale porom. Shravanam. Yeah. Systematic and consistent listening with a live sampradaya with teacher for a length of time is defined as Shravanam. Yeah. When you go to Rishikesh and all, Kashi, there is a Kailas ashram. Ashram is there. You will find in every room there will be 2, 3 brahmacharis, sadhus studying the text all day long. When the bell rings, they will take a break, have their lunch and continue. So there is total immersion in knowledge. Of course, there are not much distractions. But so whenever we get an opportunity, we have to do Shravanam. This is like dipping into the Ganga, Jnana Ganga. And that is not enough. That is the first stage. That has to be followed with Tat Artha Mananat. What I have listened to, like, these 10 sessions we did, we have listened to all the Dhyana shlokas and all these verses. I have to do Mananam. Mananam is inquiry, clarifying the doubts, asking questions, discussing with my friends, and you can even do WhatsApp forwards. This will be much better than, other forwards that we get and we do. They're very useful. So here and there we can share something with our friends and colleagues. All this is Mananam. But I'm doing it for my own clarity. Yeah? Just because the Swamini or a Guru says Tattvamasi, I'm not able to accept it. So Mananam is important because I have to tally with my experience. Is it true for me? Yeah. Then finally there is Nididhyasanam, Dhyanam. Dhyanam is contemplation. Yeah? So contemplation is the actual assimilation, digestion part. Yeah? When I dwell on, when I do Atma Chintanam again and again through daily meditation, or just sitting down and rereading my notes or whatever, then the picture becomes more and more clear. There is growing clarity. Yeah? And Sankirtanat means not really bhajans here, although bhajans is very beautiful. So bhajans is a part of Bhakti Yoga, purifies my mind, makes it one-pointed. But here Sankirtanat is chant the stotram every day. I was wondering, I've been chanting Dakshinamurthy Stotram since 2006. And this is the first time I'm actually sharing it after so many years. So when we chant this Stotram every day, then there is that Artha Spuranam will happen. I will become curious. What is this Dakshinamurthy? Who is Dakshinamurthy? When we were in the Coimbatore Gurukulam, we all wanted to have a long-term course. Yeah. But unfortunately, no Acharya wanted to take the responsibility. Because handling students, handling children, you all know how difficult it is. Handling students for 3 years with all their emotional problems is not an easy thing. So no Acharya came forward. And Puja Swamiji said, please, one the choli kudungo, students are ready. Nobody agreed. Then what did we do? We had a better plan. Dakshinamurthy temple, every day I did 108 pradakshinas. In our beautiful Anekatti Gurukulam, we will all go there one day, I'm sure. So every day we will do, go round and round and round and round. The priest will also say, Amma, time to close the temple, please complete. Then we'll start jogging also. So every day with a sankalpa, may there be an Acharya who will do the course. And finally it happened. So one may call it coincidence or the grace of Dakshinamurthy that finally we got Swami Sakshat Kritanandaji who agreed to do the course for 3 years, and then we are able to complete it. So the grace of Dakshinamurthy, how it will come in my life and when, we cannot tell. But I have to connect. And I do that by Sankirtanat, by chanting the Stotram. And now we even know the meaning of the verses. So not once is not enough. We have to again and again go over the meanings, chant it, and internalize it. So all that is meant here. Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam, Sankirtanam. Yeah. Then what? Sarvatmatvam, Mahavibhuti Sahitam Syat. Syat means there would be. Then what will take place? Ishwaratvam Swataha, your own glory as Ishvara. So you will gain the status of Ishvara, Shankara. This Acharya is saying. That means what? See, jnanis are equal to Ishvara. Yeah. So I remember when people would go to Swamiji for blessings, Swamiji will say Nadakkum. Nadakkum means it will happen. And that will definitely happen in that person's life. And if Swamiji says, no, idu panna vendampa, nadakadu, means it will not happen. So one person wanted to start a center and he sought blessings of Puja Swamiji. Swamiji tried to dissuade him, but he did not agree. Then later on, it turned out he did have a lot of problems starting that center or whatever. So what this shows is that the Jnani has gained the status of Ishvara, Dakshinamurthy, and that is why we seek blessings of such Mahatmas. But here, if one would worship Dakshinamurthy in this form as understanding of the Paramatattvam through Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam, then one will also gain the Swataha Ishwaratvam, the Jnani-hood. And there will be Sarvatma Bhava. This is what the Gita also says, Samadarshanam. I have a mind which is filled with equanimity. Then there is no tug of war with the world. I don't blame anybody. I don't blame myself also. Yeah, because I know that nothing can happen without Ishvara's will. So all that is here is Ishvara. Whatever happens is by Ishvara's will alone. And what happened also, and what is going to happen also. So there is total Sharanagati, and there is total surrender, and hence there is peace. Yeah? So that is the third line. Sarvatmat Mahavibhuti Sahitam Syat Ishwaratvam Swataha. Then last line, Siddhye Tat Punaha Ashtadha Parinatam Cha. Siddhyet, and there will be the Siddhis. So here it's open to interpretation. Ashtadha Parinatam can be taken as one would also gain the Ashta Siddhis. Ashta Siddhis are Anima, Lagima, Garima, all these we read. Hanumanji had Ashtasiddhis, yeah. But here Swamiji has often would tell us that as a mumukshu, what will we do with siddhis? We want knowledge, liberating knowledge, yeah. So that jnanam is the ultimate miracle. And so this can be taken as Ashtadha. When I've understood Dakshinamurthy in an eightfold way, then that is the greatest siddhi. Siddhye tat punaha ashtadha parinatam cha Aishwaryam avyahatam. Avyahata means unobstructed. So unhampered. There will be a continuous Aishwaryam in one's life. Yeah. So that is the meaning here. This is the Phalashruti. So normally, we do see Phalashruti, Putram, Dhanam, Dhanyam, one will get wealth if you do Mahalakshmi Ashtakam, and if you do this Ashtakam, Ganesha Ashtakam, you will be free from obstacles. Yeah. So all those are also valid, And in the life, I want to clear obstacles, I want to get settled, I have to make money. But this phalam is meant for a mumukshu who has, gone through all those stages. So this is the Phalashruti in terms of knowledge, in terms of sarvatmatvam. Yeah? So I see that everyone's Atma is my Atma. Yeah? So that is this 10th shloka here. And so we see that in life, we all will start with what? We take the body to be real, mind to be real. So body, mind, world-centered life is very natural. We are all doing it still, a body, mind, word-centered life. But now the Shastra tells us that if you get engrossed, emphasize only a body, mind, sense-centered life, then you are living on shaking ground. Anitya vastu, being anitya vastu, right? So then, by Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam, my attention is diverted, and the more I listen, then what? Then I think, oh, I can't be this body, I am the jiva, the one who is indwelling the body. Yeah? And then again, Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam continues. And then we come to the stage of sarvatmatvam. I'm a spiritual being with human experiences and not a human being seeking a spiritual experience. So in the Ramayana, there is this beautiful shloka when Sri Rama meets Hanumanji and he asks for his introduction. He says, "Who are you?" And do you remember what a beautiful answer Hanumanji gives? He says, "Sri Rama, Deha Buddhya tu dasoham." He says, Deha Buddhya tu dasoham, Jiva Buddhya tvat amshakaha, Atma Buddhya thameva iti me nishchita matihi. So what does this mean? Hanumanji is known as a Navavyakarana Pandita. Intellectual greatness. Having mastered the 9 schools of Sanskrit grammar. We have not mastered even one. 9 schools. No? So he answers in Sanskrit and he to Sri Rama's question, Deha Buddhya, O Sri Rama, when I'm identified with the body, then I'm a dasaha. I'm happy to serve you in any way. I will do whatever you ask me. Then Jiva Buddhya Tvat Amshakaha. But when I, think of myself as a Jiva, as this Jiva, the individual, then I am a part of you. Tvat Amshakaha. Atma Buddhya, but when I see myself as Atma, Tvam Eva Aham. There is no difference between you and me. Hanumanji tells Sri Rama that at the core level, at the Atma level, there is no difference, Sri Rama, between you and me. I am yourself. But at the body level, I am a Vanara. I have the costume of a Vanara. And you are Sri Rama in your costume. Yeah. And as the Jiva, I'm a part of you. But as Atma, Sarvatma. I am the, we are both, everything is all pervading consciousness. Yeah. So that is the answer Hanumanji gives to Sri Rama. And in the Gita also we find Krishna telling Arjuna, after many births of purification, Vasudeva sarvamiti bahunam janmanam anti. The mumukshu realizes that everything is Vasudeva. Yeah? And that is the tattvam of this universe. So whether you take Vasudeva or Dakshinamurthy, same thing. Tattvam is one. And hence, even Paramacharya said, the only way to lasting harmony in the world is to have this Advaita Atma Drishti. Yeah? Instead of getting entangled in the Anitya Vastus of the Jagat. Now, with that, these 10 verses of Shankaracharya is complete. But what I have missed out is one thing, and that is, there is one Dhyana Shloka which I did not cover in the earlier classes. And as said, that is Pujya Swamiji's favorite Dhyana Shloka. And we would chant this in every class. With every class, we would chant this. And that is this one, the last one here. I will, some of my students who already attended know this already. Ishwaro Guru Ratmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagini Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurthy Namaha. Ishwaro Guru Ratmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagini Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurthy Namaha. So this is the 6th Dhyana Shloka, which says Dakshinamurthy Namaha. My namaskara, salutations to Lord Dakshinamurthy, who is like space, Vyoma. Vyoma means space. Yeah? Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya. Yeah? Now see, if you take space, there is space in my stomach. There is space in this room right now where I'm doing the Zoom session. There is space outside the room, space in the kitchen, space in my mind. Yeah. But is the space divided? No. But the space appears to be divided. Hall space, kitchen space, stomach space, bedroom space, garden space, So it appears divided. So too, this Dhyana Shloka says that Dakshinamurthy, like space, appears as my Guru, appears as, as the Lord, Mahavishnu or Shiva or Parvati Devi, whatever, Deva, Devata, and myself. So the one principle of consciousness appears in different bodies, and my salutations unto that Atma Tattva. So this is the 6th Dhyana Shloka, which I could not do earlier. And even if you just chant this shloka and dwell upon the meaning, salutations to Lord Dakshinamurthy, who is all pervasive like space, but who appears as though divided as the Lord, Guru, and myself. Yeah? So there is a underlying identity. Yeah? So now what we'll do, we will chant the whole shlokas and the Dhyana shlokas once and then conclude. Huh? So this last session is taking a little bit more time because the concluding session generally does. So Sunita and I will chant it together. I'll do the first part and she will do the second part. Okay, you can follow on the screen. Mauna Vyakya Prakatita Para Brahma Tattvayuvanam Varshishthante Vasadrishi Ganei Ravritam Brahmanishthai.
आचार्येन्द्रं करकलितचिन्मुद्रमानन्दरूपम् स्वात्मा रामं मुदितवदनं दक्षिणामूर्तिमीडे
वटविटपि समीपे भूमिभागे निषन्नम् सकलमुनिजनानां ज्ञानदातारमारात्।
त्रिभुवनगुरुमीशं दक्षिणामूर्तिदेवं जननमरणदुःखच्छेदं नमामि।
चित्रं वटतरोर्मूले वृद्धा शिष्या गुरुर्युवा गुरोस्तु मौनं व्याख्यानं शिष्यास्तु छिन्न संशयाः।
निधये सर्वविद्यानां भिषजे भवरोगिणां गुरवे सर्वलोकानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः।
ॐ नमः प्रणवार्थाय शुद्धज्ञानैकमूर्तये निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः. Can you do the sixth one, Sunita, now?
Yes.
Ishwara.
ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः।
विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यं निजान्तर्गतम् पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया।
यः साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयम् तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नम इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये।
बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः माया कल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्र्यचित्रीकृतम्।
मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महा योगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नम इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये।
यस्यैव स्फुरणं सदात्मकमसत्त्वकल्पार्थगं भासते साक्षात् तत्त्वमसीति वेदवचसा यो बोधयत्याश्रितान्।
यत्साक्षात्करणाद् भवेन्न पुनरावृत्तिर्भवाम्भोनिधौ तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नम इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये।
नानाचित्रघटोदरस्थितमहादीपप्रभाभास्वरम् ज्ञानं यस्य तु चक्षुरादिकरणद्वारा बहिः स्पन्दते।
जानामीति तमेव भान्तमनुभात्येतत् समस्तं जगत् तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नम इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये।
देहं प्राणमपीन्द्रियाण्यपि चलां बुद्धिं च शून्यं विदुः स्त्रीबालान्धजडोपमास्त्वहमिति भ्रान्ता भृशं वादिनः।
मायाशक्तिविलासकल्पितमहाव्यामोहसंहारिणे तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नम इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये।
राहुग्रस्तदिवाकरेन्दुसदृशो मायासमाच्छादनात् तन्मात्रः करणोपसंहरणतो यो भूत्सुषुप्तः पुमान्।
प्रागस्वाप्समिति प्रबोधसमये यः प्रत्यभिज्ञायते तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नम इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये।
बाल्यादिष्वपि जागृदादिषु तथा सर्वास्वस्थास्वपि व्यावृत्तास्वनुवर्तमानमहमित्यन्तः स्फुरन्तं सदा
स्वात्मानं प्रकटीकरोति भजतां यो मुद्रया भद्रया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नम इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये।
विश्वं पश्यति कार्यकारणतया स्वस्वामि सम्बन्धतः शिष्याचार्यतया तथैव पितृपुत्राद्यात्मना भेदतः
स्वप्ने जाग्रति वाय एष पुरुषो माया परिभ्रामितः तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नम इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये।
भूरम्भास्य नलो निलोऽम्बरमहर्नाथो हिमांशुः पुमान् इत्याभाति चराचरात्मकमिदं यस्यैव मूर्त्यष्टकम्
नान्यत् किञ्चन विद्यते विमृशतां यस्मात् परस्माद् विभोः तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नम इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये।
सर्वात्मत्वमिति स्फुटीकृतमिदं यस्मादमुष्मिंस्तवे तेनास्य श्रवणात् तदर्थमननात् ध्यानाच्च सङ्कीर्तनात्
सर्वात्मत्वमहाविभूतिसहितं स्यादीश्वरत्वं स्वतः सिद्ध्येतत् पुनरष्टधा परिणतं चैश्वर्यमव्याहतम् सिद्ध्येतत् पुनरष्टधा परिणतं चैश्वर्यमव्याहतम्।
ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ। I'll just make a few announcements. Please wait. Okay. So, by the grace of Lord Dakshinamurthy, we were able to complete in 10 sessions 6 dhyana shlokas